Assalamu alaikum, dear friends and students. Today we will discuss the chemistry of phenols. In this lecture, we will discuss the nomenclature of phenol derivatives, and the synthesis of phenols, and phenols as acids, and their reactions. And we will discuss their reactions both from their OH group and from the aromatic ring. So let us begin our lecture with the nomenclature of phenol derivatives. So this is the structure of the phenol, the hydroxybenzene, and this is the parent molecule. Now, if we have further groups on the phenol, so how these are named? So if we have the chloro group, and the first of all, we have to consider the hydrophenolic, the hydroxy that is directly connected to the carbon, and to be number one, and then we will have the chloro at the 4 position. So the name of this molecule will be 4-chlorophenol, and for the nitro it is at the 2 position. It will be referred to as 2-nitrophenol, and for the methyl it is at 3 position. With respect to this hydroxy, it is called 3-methyl phenol. For further substitutions, uh, if we have 3 substitution, let's suppose, so the numbering will start from this side in a clockwise manner, because in doing so we will have the substituent nearer, that is at carbon number 2, and the chloro. At 3 there is nothing, at 4 there is bromo, and at 5 there is again chloro. So there are 2 chloros, that is dichloro and 1 bromo. And now in the alphabetical order, B comes prior to the C, so that is why 4 bromo 2 5 dichlorophenol. And for the last molecule, we have the hydroxy here. So this is carbon number 1. And now we have the ethyl at carbon number 2 and methyl at carbon number 2 again, if we consider from here. So we know ethyl being starting from E, it will be considered at lower position as compared to the methyl. So it will be at carbon number 2. So this will be carbon number 3, and this second methyl will be at C5, and the methyl will be at carbon number 6. So we have 2 ethyls, that is diethyl, and 2 methyls, that is dimethyl. So E comes prior to M, so it will be named as 2,5-diethyl 3,6-dimethyl phenol. So remember, in all cases, the phenolic hydroxy is always at number 1. Now let's discuss the synthesis of phenol. This is the laboratory synthesis. If we have some aniline derivative or aniline itself, if we treat with the nitrous acid, it will form the diazonium salt, which will be immediately attacked by the water to have the phenol and phenol derivative. And let's take the specific example. Suppose we have the 3,5-dichloroaniline, and if we treat with sodium nitrite and HCl, remember, sodium nitrite and HCl will form the nitrous acid in C2, and then this nitrous acid is attacked by the nitrogen lone pair of, and the lone pair of this aniline, and to have the diazonium salt, which will be captured by the water molecule to have the phenol derivative. However, on industrial scale, we have the Dow process, and the Dow process is the hydrolysis of chlorobenzene. We treat the chlorobenzene with the sodium hydroxide under very high pressure and at very high temperature to have this sodium phenoxide, uh, which is protonated to have the phenol. One more method, which is called Hock process. It is also known as Cumming process, which is more famous term. In this, we have the benzene treated with the propene in the presence of phosphoric acid to have this isopropyl benzene, which is called cumene. And then this cumene is treated with this oxygen. It's a radical radical mechanism. We have this cumene hydroperoxide, which is when treated with the acid, we have the rearrangement reaction and the phenol and the acetone. This reaction is of very importance on the industrial scale, because it does not only give the phenol but also give the acetone on industrial scale. So this reaction is of a great utility and widely used. So let us discuss the mechanism of this Hock process. First of all, this radical generation of this benzylic position, benzylic carbon to have this benzylic radical, and then this benzylic radical will be captured by this oxygen, which is diradical, and then this radical of this peroxide, benzylic peroxide, will abstract the hydrogen of another mole of cumene to have this hydroperoxide group attached, and the benzylic radical generated again, which will again be treated with this oxygen. So when this hydroperoxide benzylic group is formed, this will be protonated in the presence of water with the help of the water. So this terminal oxygen will have this oxonium ion, and now there will be a migration, a 1,2 migration. This phenyl group will migrate from this carbon from which it is attached to the adjacent oxygen, this red one, and doing so, this water molecule will leave the system. So we have the water as a byproduct, and this is formed, which is as a result of the 1,2 carbon to oxygen migration. And then this water, which has been just formed, will attack this electrophilic carbon to have this intermediate. And then there is a proton shifting. This proton may shift here, and then there will be an acetone formation. And how acetone is formed, the water molecule will abstract this hydrogen, and then there will be a oxygen carbon double bond, resulting this CO bond, which has just being made more electrophilic because of the proton shifting. So we will have this acetone formed and the phenol formed as our key products. Now let us discuss the reactivity of phenol as acids. We know that phenols are acidic, but the cyclohexanol are not acidic. There are the pKa written, pKa value written. Phenol has 9.8 pKa value, and the phenol has 18 pKa value. Why cyclohexanol is not acidic? Because their conjugate base, which is the this anion, this oxyanion, is not stable, because there is no possibility of the resonance. So this negative charge is localized on this oxygen. However, in case of phenol, and we have this negative charge, if it forms by the removal of this red hydrogen, this negative charge will be delocalized in the aromatic system. So this is how this negative charge will delocalize. The negative charge will appear at the ortho position, and then this negative charge may also appear at the para position through the resonating form. So we have basically we have three resonating forms for this phenoxide anion. In first we have the negative charge in the oxygen, in the other we have the negative charge on the ortho, then at the para, and again at the second ortho position. So it's the comparison of the pKa values. The parent phenol has 9.89, but when we have a nitro group at the para position, we have lower pKa. That is, this acid has become more acidic, because lesser the pKa, more acidic the compound is. And the pKa drops to 7.15. If we have two nitro groups installed, one at ortho, other at the para, we have a further drop in the pKa, and it's a massive drop, 3.96. And if we have the three nitro groups, two at the ortho and one at the para, we have 0.38. So why these pKa values are being consistently dropping with the entry of more and more nitro groups? So the reason is very obvious. When the phenolate ion is formed, this phenolate ion is well stabilized by the withdrawing groups. Higher the number of withdrawing groups, more stabilization is possible, or you could say more resonating structures are possible for the corresponding phenolate anion. So this is the reason of this trinitrophenol to be the most acidic among all the structures shown on the screen. However, reverse is the case if we have this electron donating group, the methyl, because once the anion is formed, this is not stabilized. Rather, it is somehow destabilized because of the electron donating effect. And for the case of chlorine, yes, we have the chlorine group, which is somehow electron withdrawing because of its electronegativity, but it is also mesomeric. It also mesomerically donates its electron to the ring. So that is why it is not much difference between the parent phenol and the parachlorophenol, because of the two opposing phenomena will work for the parachlorophenol. Now there is a case, if you are given three unknown samples, one is benzoic acid, one is phenol, and one is cyclohexyl alcohol. How could we distinguish between them by doing a chemical test? Before solving, let's recall the acidity. You know, the benzoic acid definitely being more acidic, which has around 4.5 pKa value, then the phenol, which is 9.89, and the cyclohexyl alcohol, which is around 18 pKa value. So we know that the phenol is acidic, and carboxylic acid is obviously acidic, but phenol is not acidic. So when we treat this carboxylic acid with the sodium hydroxide, we will simply have this carboxylate salt, which is water soluble. It's a simple acid-base reaction. Same is the case for the phenol. When treated with the sodium hydroxide, we have the sodium phenoxide and water. However, for the cyclohexyl alcohol, we do not have the reaction successful because this hydroxide is not basic enough to abstract alcoholic proton. So this is how this cyclohexyl alcohol is ruled out. And now we have two species left, the carboxylic acid and the phenol, to distinguish which is which. And for doing, we have to use another maize which is weaker, much weaker than sodium hydroxide. It is sodium bicarbonate. When treated with the benzoic acid, we have the benzoate salt, but the reason, but when there is an evolution of carbon dioxide, which is a good guide that this compound is benzoic acid. However, when we treat with phenol, the reaction does not occur. So this is the weaker base. It will react with the stronger acid as compared to the weaker acid. For the cyclohexyl alcohol, definitely the reaction will not occur. Now let us discuss the reaction of phenols. So in this heading, we first discuss reaction due to hydroxy group. So you know that when we treat the phenol with the acid anhydride, we have the O-acylated product, and this O-acylated product may also be achieved by treating the phenol with the acid chloride. Both will give us the same acyl group to the oxygen. There is another reaction of phenols hydroxy, which is called the Williamson ether synthesis, in which we treat the sodium hydroxide, the phenol with the sodium hydroxide to have the phenoxide anion. And now this phenoxide anion may attack the alkyl halide in a simple SN2 fashion to have this OR bond and the departure of the chlorine halogen Sg halide. So in doing so, we will have this aromatic ether. There is a actual example. We have the phenol treated with the sodium hydroxide will give you the sodium phenoxide. When treated with propyl bromide, we have the propyl group attached to this oxygen. So it's a phenyl and propyl ether formed. Now the other type of reaction of phenol due to the aromatic ring. So let us discuss the bromination. When we treat the phenol with the bromine, we have the tribromophenol. And remember, there are two things that is important to discuss at this level. If you recall, when we brominated benzene, we had to use the catalyst, aluminum chloride or ferric bromide, whatever. And also we got the mono substituted product. But in case of phenol, neither we need to use the electrophilic and the catalyst, because phenol is already very much activating. And also we did not have the mono substituted product, rather the bromine has been attached to all three positions. So to suppress the activity of bromine, we will have to lower the temperature, and we have to drop the temperature to 5 degrees Celsius. In doing so, we may have the mono brominated product. But still we do not need any catalyst. For the nitration, we have the ortho or the para product, as we know that phenol is the ortho or the para director. And in this particular case, the ortho product is predominated over the para product. And the reason of the predominance of the orthonitrophenol is the intramolecular hydrogen bonding, which is not possible in the para-nitrophenol. For the sulfonation, it is very interesting that if we treat this reaction and phenol with the sulfuric acid at low temperature, that is around at room temperature, we will have the orthosulfonation. And the reason is very obvious. It's a kinetically controlled reaction. However, when we increase the temperature to 100 degrees Celsius, we have the para-sulfonic group attached, not at the ortho. So in fact, when we sulfonate the phenol, first of all, the sulfonic group is attached to the ortho position. However, upon prolonged heating, at high heating, this sulfonic group removes from the ortho position and attaches to the para position. So sulfonation of phenol at ortho position is kinetically controlled reaction, and sulfonation of phenol at para position is a thermodynamically controlled reaction. One more reaction, Kolbe-Schmidt reaction. This reaction has very industrial importance that we will discuss. And the phenoxide ion, it is just formed by the treatment of sodium hydroxide with the phenol. When treated with the solid carbon dioxide, we have the carboxylation at the ortho position. And this product that is formed is called the salicylic acid. The orthobenzoic acid is also called the salicylic acid. And there is a mechanism first. It's a very simple mechanism. The lone pair of oxygen will collapse here, resulting in the attack of the ortho carbon to the carbon dioxide carbon, which is electrophilic, and then this carboxylate ion will abstract the proton from here in an intramolecular fashion to have this enol group here, which is overall 2-hydroxy benzoate, which will be protonated under acidic condition as a workup to have the salicylic acid. Why the carboxylation occurred at the ortho position and not at the meta position? So definitely you may answer by looking at the molecule. It is very much prone to the intramolecular hydrogen bonding. In case of para carboxylation, we cannot have the intramolecular hydrogen bonding. Also, there is another reason. This sodium cation will be definitely bridging these two ligands, this oxygen and this oxygen, to support the ortho substitution. So once the salicylic acid is formed, if we acylate this alcohol, this hydroxy of the phenol, we may have the acetyl salicylic acid. And this acetyl salicylic acid is the very famous drug, the analgesic drug, which is called aspirin. The Claisen rearrangement. This is another type of reaction. Basically, this type of reaction fits for the both category, that is for the phenolic hydroxy and the phenolic aromatic ring system. First of all, we deprotonate the phenol with the help of the sodium hydride, another base, and we have the phenoxide anion, and when it is treated, and then it is treated with the allyl bromide. So this oxy anion will attack here at this peri-terminal carbon. So this pi bond will move here, and bromine will be expelled out. We will have this allyl attached to this oxygen. So this is O allylation occurred. However, at high temperature, this allyl group will migrate from oxygen to this adjacent carbon. And this is why how happened this rearrangement happened because of the sigma-tropic rearrangement, a special class of reaction in which we have an intramolecular rearrangement, that is this bond, this one is broken, this sigma bond is broken, we have the pi bond here, and this pi bond will form a new sigma bond between this carbon, and as a result this pi bond will shift to this position. So overall there is there were two pi bond, and still there are two pi bond, but all they did is just change the position. However, there are breakage of this pi bond and the formation breakage of the sigma bond and the formation of the new sigma bond. So this is called 3-3 sigma tropic rearrangement. Why 3-3? It's 3-3 because the new sigma bond formed at 3 position with respect to this atom, and at another 3 position with respect to this atom. So this 3-3 position has a new sigma bond developed. And why do we call 1 to have the 3-3? Because from where the sigma bond is broken, the two atoms that whose sigma bond is broken are referred to as 1 and 1 prime, and then the counting continues until we have the new bond formed, which is called 3-3 sigma tropic rearrangement. And then in the second step, we simply have the keto-enol tautomerism. This is keto tautomer, which is very much unstable in this particular case because this is no more aromatic. However, this keto group tautomerizes into the phenol to have very stable compound. And that's all for the chemistry of phenol. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.